What's up guys, Hossein is here. Today I have really interesting training for people who are not familiar with Mikrotik. The aim of this training is to build very simple network for small offices, home network users, or people with no Mikrotik knowledge. So I will explain everything in very simple way that makes sure everyone understands it, but you have to have a little bit knowledge of the networking. For example, you should already know what is a DHCP, what is a firewall, what is a NAT, and so on. I have some videos about bridging, so when it is needed, I will refer it, I will put it somewhere at top. So no worries about that one. I have you covered. What do we want to achieve at the end of the day is to make sure these three PCs can connect to a network, get an IP address, and we provide internet access for all the computers. Then we would like to block some certain websites for these users. And then because PC number 3 is in finance, we would like to restrict access to PC3 for PC1 and PC2. So PC1 and PC2 at the end of the day should not be able to reach to PC3. Stay with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get it started. So we'll start with the Mikrotik. At the moment, these three PCs are connected to Mikrotik. Note that the Mikrotik that I'm using is a router. It's not a switch. This setup is not really recommended to implement, but imagine if you're low on budget, you are not able to afford a switch, or you are not willing to spend a lot of money and you just have an old Mikrotik, you want to keep it working. This is the way to do it. So we have three PCs connected to Mikrotik router, 1 to Ethernet 2, 3 and 4 respectively. So we want to make sure that these PCs get IP address from router. I have a fairly refreshed with no config Mikrotik here. I'm gonna tell you how to set up this stuff. So to be able to list some IP addresses, first you need to assign IP addresses on interfaces. Because this is a router, we have to define IP address for each interface. I mean Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3 and Ethernet 4. But this is not the target. Then it means each PC will go to one network. What we can do is to make a bridge. If you need more information about bridge, I have a video, I put it at the top here so you can refer it. What does this bridge do? In a nutshell, it makes sure those three PCs are connected to the same broadcast domain. It actually makes a software switch. So if I make a bridge and put all these three interfaces into that bridge, and if I assign IP address on that bridge and make it a DHCP server, all your clients connected to that bridge will get the same IP address. So let's start doing. I will go to bridge, create a bridge. Here I will just type the name bridge 1. Then I will add interfaces to this bridge. I will start with Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3, Ethernet 4. So all these interfaces mentioned here, all of them are in the same broadcast domain. Then I will start assigning IP address to this bridge. I will just go with a random IP address 192.168.20.1/24. So that means these three PCs are technically connected to a dumb switch. That's how bridging in Mikrotik works. So now I have IP address on my bridge, and now it's time to list some IPs to PCs. I have to go to IP, then DHCP server. I will quickly make DHCP server on bridge interface. There's nothing special about this configuration at the moment. So if you go to list, you should see the PCs coming online. If not, we can force them. So if I come here, if I just disable enable interface, it should come online. Network, yes, they were not connected. PC2. And PC3. So we have those PCs here and they have an IP address. Let's see if we have internet on PC1. If I come here and I open CMD or terminal, Linux, if I type ping 8.8, oops. 8.8.8, I have no internet access. Why? Because yes, I provided IP address, but that does not mean these PCs have internet access. They have IP address in class C and they need to NAT it behind an IP address so they can reach to internet. Now, this is my home internet modem. It has an IP address, let's say random IP address in 192.168.1. something, and this router got an IP address from my home router. But the network behind that router, the Mikrotik router, is unknown to this internet modem. So what I need to do to hide these IPs behind this interface IP address, which is called NATed. To make a NAT in Mikrotik, you have to go to IP, then firewall, in NAT section, then you create a NAT rule, then you say a source NAT, and action type should be masquerade. Voila. And now our PCs should have internet access. Yes. So let's go back to our task list for today. So now we go to third part of this training, which is blocking access to a specific website. For this test, I use PC1 to check the connection to a specific website. So if I open PC1 and if I head to www.yahoo.com, I am able to browse the website. To block access to a certain website, we have to go to Mikrotik. In firewall, we have to create a firewall rule. But because later on we can use address list to simplify our configuration, I will go and create an address list first and call it, for example, block. This is just a simple name. It can be anything. Then on address, I will use www.yahoo.com. If I hit OK, it will automatically fetch the server list. Then on filter rules, I will create a block rule. So in chain, we have 3 chains. First is forward, which means the router is forwarding one packet from a source to a certain destination, which is not the router itself. Input is receiving a packet, which is the destination is router itself. And output, which means the source of the packet is the router itself. In this case, we are going to use forward because the source is PC1 and destination is a server on the internet. Then on advanced, I will use the list that we created earlier, and action, I choose drop. So if we start browsing yahoo.com, we should see the counter goes up. Let's see. So this is the case now. I am not able to browse yahoo.com. You can extend this list to the websites that you desire. Let's go back to our list for today. So the last item is to block access to Finance PC for PC1 and PC2. At the moment, all these three PCs are in the same broadcast domain. As I showed you, I create a bridge for Ethernet 2, 3 and 4. There are some dirty ways to block access to PC3, but that also affects access to PC1 and PC2 as well. I'm not going to show you that one. The best practice in this scenario is to put Ethernet 4 in another IP range. Then using firewall rules, we block from a source to this destination. Let's see how we can do it. So we go back to Mikrotik, and then I will remove Ether 4 from the bridge. I will assign an IP address on that interface. Let's say 72.16.21.24. I will create the DHCP server for that interface, which is here. DHCP setup, Ether 4. Next. Nothing to worry about in this state. Then if I refresh IP address of PC3, which is this one, I should get another IP address, which is this. So PC3 now has this IP address. Does PC3 have internet access? Let's check it. Yes, it does. So I want to test if I can reach to PC3 from PC1. Oh, sorry, I used wrong IP. Should be this one. Yes, I can reach to PC3. So I would like to block access to PC3 from PC1. Let's see how we can do it. We have to go to IP, then firewall, then create a rule, and you will say it is still forward. And if you say it's the destination address is 172.160.20, that's this. The action would be to drop. Let's see the changes while we apply it. Oh, goes away. So, as you can see, started timing out. No more any ping reply. So now let's test internet access on PC3. We don't have internet access. And do you know why? Because when we created the firewall rule, we actually said with this destination, everything should be dropped. But that is not the intention, because if PC3 is sending a packet toward internet, the reply is toward that destination. So it actually blocks everything heading toward a destination address 172.16.20/24, which is not the intention. We would like PC3 to reach to internet, but from internal network, you should not be able to reach to PC3. Then we have to make our firewall rule more specified. In this case, I would say choose in interface bridge 1, which means packets coming from PC1 and PC2 are not allowed to reach to this destination, which is PC3. And if I hit apply, let's see the changes. Yes, on PC3 now we can browse internet without any issue. So that was it for today. I showed you how to create a DHCP for computers of a small network. I told you how to provide internet access for all computers. Then we checked how to block access to a specific website. And then we have blocked access to a certain PC on our network. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and looking forward for your comments and suggestions. Have a nice day. Bye bye.